Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to MBR, or as we like to call it around here, Nothing But Rants, the show where I find topics that I'm oddly passionate about and I pontificate upon them. These are not hot takes, but rather takes that I'm hot about. What's up?
Really like that.
You really like that?
Let's shut up and grind some tape.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? College football season is here. We walked through the desert that is the off season. We walked through the summer. We are here. College football is here. And what a way to start it with Ohio State and Texas this weekend up there in Columbus, Ohio. And Jonathan, I think it's not only a blessing that we have this football game to start our college football season, but it's a real blessing that these two football teams have played as recently as they have. Now, obviously, whole lot of differences between what we saw in the Cotton Bowl last year between the Ohio State roster that went on to win a national title and the Texas roster that lost that football game and ended their season. That being said, it's so recent, it was right there. So I felt like I would go back and rewatch this football game yesterday and just remind the people of some of the things that happened in that one, because it was 6 or 7 months ago, it feels like. But I think it does pay, or at least mean and matter for what we're going to talk about all week this week leading up to this game Saturday. And first and foremost, when you watch that game, when you go back and rewatch the Cotton Bowl, that first possession from Ohio State was like the epitome of their playoff season, in my opinion. Their quarterback was playing so ridiculously confident to start that football game that, we watched on tape the other day. We were blown away by just the amount of, oh my gosh, look here. 3 steps, no hitch, balls out. Very next pass play. 3 steps, don't like it, 1 hitch, balls out. Tight window, no matter. Will Howard came out in that first football game, Jonathan, absolutely dialed and lights out.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of one of the difference makers from that football game from what I remember of just, like Quinn Ewers, I think, kind of picked it up a little bit throughout their playoff run up until this point, but he never played with the amount of confidence that Will Howard was. I don't think you ever saw Quinn Ewers like really dial it in and feel like, I'm the better quarterback today, I'm the best quarterback on the football field, and be a main reason why they went on to win a football game. But Will Howard, he certainly did that throughout the entire playoff run for them.
I mean, what's the old adage of taking the bull by the horns, literally here? Like as a quarterback in these big-time football games, somebody's got to step up and say, like, I'm not afraid to make plays today, even if it almost puts me at risk. Like early on in that ball game, if you go back and watch, number 8 from Texas gives a little simulated pressure and damn near picks Will Howard off like the 4th ball of the football game. The second possession of the game, Will Howard throws a ball to G. Scott off a fake tunnel screen that I have no idea how or why he threw it, but it was more of just like, coach called this play. We have an explosive. I don't care what it looks like. I'm going to throw this thing because I'm confident and I'm going to rip it. And it played to their advantage from that Tennessee football game all the way into the national title game, knowing that, hey, like, no, we're better than them. I'm going to play like I'm better than them. I'm going to call games like I'm better than them. I just wonder, how do you have that type of confidence? And I'm not saying they won't, but how? How do you project that type of confidence and that type of performance from Julian Sand in his first career start? That would be a big question going into this football game. The other thing I noticed and remembered now, like going back and rewatching it as quickly as I did, oh my God, was that first half sloppy. Like, these are two good offenses, and they will be good offenses this year as well. But man, they played sloppy football in game 14 for these football teams. Imagine what it's going to be game 1. You know what I mean? Like, there's a potential, as there always is with any game 1, that this is going to be a sloppy performance from both football teams. But I can't tell you, Jonathan, how many times I looked up yesterday, rewatching that game and seeing, oh shit, Texas is in 2nd and 27. Oh crap, Ohio State's in 2nd and 23. That only happens if we have penalties, right? Holds, face masks, pre-snaps. defensive, offensive pass interference, like goofy stuff, but it also just kills drives. When we're in 2nd and 27, you might as well just punt the daggone football. We're not going to have it. I was shocked to go back and find out, like, oh, no wonder they only scored, 40 total points amongst them. This was sloppy. Fumbles, penalties, all the works.
Yeah, I mean, considering that was a playoff game in a neutral site, and at that point in the season, like, your players are custom and, like, they're veteran players, no matter if they're a freshman at that point or not. You have veteran football players in your starting lineup, whereas this is first game of the season. It's going to be at Ohio State, so that's going to play a role into this. You got 2 new starting quarterbacks as well, some new offensive personnel on both sides of the for both teams. So I kind of expect that probably again going into this matchup of just some sloppy first half play.
I also want to go ahead and say this. Hey, Texas fans, the world knows that Arch Manning got 2 starts last year. The world also knows that starting at home against Mississippi State and ULM, when we know it ain't your job as soon as Quinn gets back healthy, is a little bit different than the first game of the year on the road in Columbus. All right, and again, you can get caught up in, well, it's a fact, this is not his first career start. You can get caught up in that. I am going to get caught up in the fact that in my mind, in my heart, okay, this is his first start that matters. This is his first start. All right. I know what the box score says. We all know what the stats are. We all watched football last year. All right. But if you can't agree with me that starting at home against Mississippi State and starting on the road in Columbus, Ohio are 2 totally different things, then we really can't have a realistic football conversation. Number 3, I absolutely forgot that Will Howard had a gosh dang golf ball on his left hand midway through this first quarter.
Yeah, I mean, that sucker was huge. And it felt like it kept just getting bigger and bigger as the game went on.
Took a helmet, like, grazed off of his left hand, and yeah, it looked like he had broken his left hand. Now, obviously a right-handed quarterback, so not going to impact how he threw the football, but Jonathan, they had to run the football the rest of the football game with no quarterback design run game, which, by the way, they're going to have to do this football game because Julian Sayin is no running quarterback, no designed running quarterback. He's 6 foot, 190 pounds. I don't want him running.
Yeah. And that's what I was going to say is, like, despite the fact that these are like the same 2 football teams, same 2 head coaches and all those things, there's going to be some different things about both teams as well, because Ohio State, obviously they have a new starting quarterback, but a new guy calling offensive plays as well going into this one. Don't have Chip Kelly anymore. A lot of personnel change for Texas on defense going into this matchup, some new wide receivers as well. So some familiarity, but kind of expecting to be 2 different football teams at the same time.
Absolutely. Now, most of the offseason, at least on this channel, I know me personally, I've been sitting here talking about, hey, now, great job, Bo Atkinson. Great job adding that one. But y'all lost 2 NFL football players in JT Tuimoloau and Jack Sawyer at the defensive end position. Now, I kept saying that, repeating that, and completely forgetting that JT Tuimoloau did not play the second half of this football game. 2/3 of this game was in a cast, essentially, on his right foot, and then went on to play in the national championship with the same I'm on 1 foot type of energy because he had a high ankle sprain, and high ankle sprains ain't nothing to play with. Literally, like, if you're playing with it, you're a tough SOB. Most kids are getting high ankle surgery nowadays and tight roping it, and then I'll see you in a month and we'll play football again and I'll be nice and healthy. But no, this dude played through it, or tried to, and I totally forgot. It's like, yeah, you got to replace him, but you played the last 2 most important football games with either him not at 100% or completely without him and replacing him with Caden Curry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, again, one of those things that I certainly did not remember about that football game. I think it's easy to forget, some of the injuries that happened, some of the players that were available but maybe weren't 100% or maybe just weren't even completely available during the second half of a football game. So, like, pointing to those losses, I mean, you could do this with both sides, or for both teams going into this matchup of, I think, both teams at this point in the season. How could you not be banged up for some starting personnel?
I mean, it's one of those things about college football nowadays. It's great that this one happens week 1 for all of us. We get the best versions of these football teams, apart from whatever bad luck injuries happened in fall camp. But you catch this in playoff time, you're bound to have things happen like this where JT goes down. Or for Texas fans listening today, I totally forgot Matthew Golden's walking to the tunnel midway through the second quarter of this football game. Now, I want to talk about that one because, I like Caden Curry. I like Kenyatta Jackson. I'm familiar with their work. I'm familiar with Bo Atkinson's work. I'm familiar with what it is Ohio State's going to throw at the defensive end position with regards to bodies. What I am not familiar with, because we just don't know the answer to this question, hey, in the fourth quarter of football games last year, if Texas needed one weapon to win, they were going to Matthew Golden. If they needed one trustworthy weapon to get slipped behind the defense, running naked down the back end, it was Gunnar Helm. All right. That was I feel like almost 2 years of Texas football, especially last year of Texas football. Where are you going to go now, Sark? Who are those guys going to be? Is Ryan Wingo ready to be we need somebody to win a one-on-one opportunity? And who is it? Who is going to be the replacement for Gunnar Helm? Who is going to be your safety net to create explosives? That's why, in my opinion, you won the Arizona State game. It's why you got in the position to lose this football game with a truck toss on the goal line.
Yeah, I think the biggest things for me heading into this matchup are the newer additions that both teams have. For Texas, CJ Baxter. I know it's week one. I know he's still kind of acclimating himself back to a football game. So, not sure how much we'll see him in this game, but how much of a factor is CJ Baxter going to be for this run game? And then going on to Ohio State and really both teams, how disruptive are we going to be on the defensive front? Both teams lost some big names, notable names. You've mentioned multiple of them already for Ohio State, but how disruptive are we going to be up front defensively? I think that's a big question for both Texas and Ohio State going into this matchup.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the place to be. I'm telling you, all college football season right here on the Film Guy Network. If this is your first time today, wetting your little beak right here on the Film Guy Network, we will be live tonight, Monday through Thursday, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock here on the network. Give us a chance. I promise you, you won't regret it. Hey, I love you. We'll see you next time.